Hi, welcome to the Glenn Power how to make a login tutorial screen for Android Studio using Jetpack Compose. This is going to be a 4-part video series where I show you how to make this login screen over here on the side. Part 1 is going to be some basic setup, the background, the file structure, and the overall construction of the login screen. Part 2 and Part 3 are going to focus on the middle layer over here, the actual panel, and then Part 4 is just going to round everything off, show you how to install or how to add this circle icon here. So to start, I'm assuming you've already downloaded Android Studio. To create a new project, I'm going to go new project, click on an empty views activity, go to next, name it whatever you want, save it wherever you want, I do not care, and then click finish. It's going to start building a bit. It's going to just add all of the files for the basic structure. There's going to be a little status icon indicator down here in the right corner. When that's done, your file structure should look like mine. If it doesn't, just click on this drop down and click Android. Now you're going to see this and you're going to be like, no, where's my project files? Your project files are in the app folder, Kotlin and Java, the extremely long file name, and then over here is where you'll find your project files. So to start off, here is your main activity. We're not going to be working in this. For now, I want you to right click on the long file name, click new, and create a new package. This is like a folder. This is where we're going to be storing our screen that we're working on. So I'm going to be naming this screens, because this is where my screens are going to go. Inside of screens, we're going to create a new Kotlin class file, a file specifically, and we're going to name it login screen. Now, this is the blank baby page of what we're going to be working with. To start off, we're going to do @composable, because we're going to make our own screen. Then we do fun. This is what you're going to name your screen. Since the file is named login screen, I was thinking I'll name mine login screen tutorial. You can do braces, open those braces, and add a modifier, which is equal to a modifier, which is of type modifier. Now the modifier lets us modify our function in whichever way we see fit. This is like CSS if you work with websites. This is stuff like padding, background color, whatever. After we add the modifier, we're going to add some curly braces. This is the bulk of our program. This is where all the code goes. Now, before we can actually code anything, you'll notice over here, if we click on split, there is no preview. To preview your code is to see what it looks like. This is a preview. So to get a preview, we need to make a preview component. To do that, we do as follows. We do @preview showBackground equals true, @composable, and then fun stands for function, login screen tutorial preview, because this is a preview. Add those braces and then some curly braces. You need to make sure that you don't do preview over here. Otherwise, you're going to have a little rendering issue. Just a little teensy one. It's not going to work. It's not going to work. Let's just add something so that this code doesn't look so lonely. Let's add some text. Boom. Boom. That right there is the preview. Everything you're going to see, everything we're going to do is going to render over here. So to start us off, let's start with the background of our app. Is basically we're going to do a 3-layer system. We're going to do the background, the middle ground, and then the upper layer, the top, the foreground. The background is like 2 components. The middle ground is where the magic happens, and the top layer is like it's one little icon. To do this, we are going to use a box. set the modifier equal to modifier, and then add a this. Inside of this box is where all of our code goes. I say all of because literally everything that we're going to be coding is going to go inside of this. This is our container. It is a big box where other things can be in front, behind, or in the middle of. For now, we're going to start with behind. We're going to start off by making the box, give it a background color, or first we're going to open up the modifier a bit. This is just to keep the code nice and tidy. We're going to do background and set the background to color.white. Then we're also going to do .fill max size. Boom. There, our entire screen is now just a white box. That is exactly what we want. Next off, we're going to add some actual stuff to our white box, our void. To do this, we're going to start off with a column. A column is like a box, except instead of front and back, everything just stacks on top of each other. Nothing can go in front or behind each other. Start off with a column. If you want to style it, you're going to have to do some regular braces. Do this. We do want to style it. We want everything to be in the middle, so we're going to do horizontal alignment, center horizontally, and then we're going to do a modifier. Like I said, the modifier is like styling. It lets us change a bunch of stuff. Just to see if this thing is there, we're going to do, just to see if our column is there, we're going to do background and set the color to black. Oh no, it's not there. Of course it's not. You haven't given the column a size. Fill max size. And boom, now the whole screen is black because that's the column. Now we know that it's there. Now inside of the column, this is where we're going to start adding things on top of each other. We're going to do image. Make sure to import that. And this is where our first image is going to come in. Let me just clean this up for a second. So before we import our image, we can go ahead and add a content description. This is going to be our background image. And we can add a silly little modifier, teehee. Inside of this modifier, we're going to have the image be the maximum width of the screen, because we want it to fill the entire width but not the entire height. That would be useless and it would stretch the image. To import this image, what we're going to do first is we're going to upload the image. In the GitHub link that I've linked in the description of this video, you're going to find the repo, and you're going to find these files inside of your repo, namely the login screen, which is the finished product, the README, which just details you how to install everything, and then the drawables file. This is where we get our images. For now, we're going to be using the background image.jpg. I'm going to copy this, move it over to my download so it's easier to find. Oh look, there it is already. Almost as if someone was expecting us. To import a drawable, you're going to go over to the drawables folder and then click on the resource manager. Once you're in the resource manager, you click add, import drawables, and then you just need to go look for your drawables. Ours is named background image. Click OK. And there it is, like magic. Going to click next now, and it's just going to give you a bunch of information we don't care about. We do care about the size, however. The dimensions 1920 by 768. This means this image is very high quality. Going to import it. Here it is in our drawables folder. If we go back to project, we can see that it has been imported over here. Exactly what we want. Now, to use an image in Android Studio in Jetpack Compose, you need to declare it as a variable, which is kind of backwards, but we're going to do it anyway. To do this, you create a value called background image, set it equal to a painter resource, remember to import that, give it the ID of r.drawable. The R stands for res, and the drawable is the drawable file. That's where we're going to go get our image. Inside of drawable, we want background image. You're going to see it's going to give me a little teensy error. This is because we haven't imported the R parameter. what we're going to do is we're going to grab that whole function, move it to inside of here, inside of the actual file, inside of the actual code. Because over here, by the modifier, this is just where you modify how our stuff looks. If you make a variable or a value, it needs to be inside the curly braces. So over here you can see val background image, it's a painter resource. Now we just need to import R, there it is. If it looks like this, you should be good. Now scrolling down over here by painter, we can then set this equal to background image. Refresh our build. And boom, there we have our background image right up at the top, right where we want it. This has been part 1 of building a login screen step by step. I'll see you in the next video.